Hey guys, Joel Garner here from the Port Adelaide Football Club. No, I'm going to do that again. Legends with Bevo. It's terrible. I couldn't be an actor. I'd be bloody at it.
G'day guys, it's Sam Hayes here from The Power and you're watching Legends with Bevo.
Hi folks, it's the big Legends with Bevo today as we chat to Power Young Gun, Joel Garner. And in the Legends with Bevo exclusive, there's been a bit of conflict in the house between him and two of his teammates. Something to do with Vegemite. We'll find out about this plus much more on Legends with Bevo.
Hey guys, Joel Garner here from The Power and you're watching Legends with Bevo.
Welcome to Legends with Bevo. Thanks to the Holdy, Coopers and Anytime Fitness Glenelg.
Well, g'day and welcome to Legends with Bevo, and what a pleasure to once again be joined by one of my favourite power players and one of the best blokes you can meet, Joel Garner. Great to have you on the show again.
G'day mate, thank you for having me.
Mate, obviously, big prelim final against the Tigers this week. What's the feeling like down at Alberton at the moment?
It's been good. The lead-up's been good. Obviously having the week off after beating the Cats. So the boys are looking good. We had a bit of a session today at the club, and I know this week's going to be really exciting. And hopefully we can get a win. That'd be good.
And you had a big scratch here the other day. How did that one go? Was it mouth guards in and pretty tough stuff, or was it sort of fairly tame?
Yeah, it's hard because you don't want to hurt anybody on the eve of a prelim final. So it was sort of go hard, then not go hard. But all the boys were sort of training really well and moving really well. So it was good to have a bit of a hit out. And
Marshall and Durs, how are they looking?
They're looking good, yeah. I don't think Marsh trained, but Durs was out there, and they're both looking really good, coming along really nicely. And obviously they've been big players in our team this year, so hopefully they can get right and get back in there.
And earlier on the year, Jolie, we saw one of the best games of the year, the Power knocking off the Tigers by 21 points. And obviously Richmond now have Prestia, Hawley and Edwards back in the side, three pretty big ins, but I know we were missing a few players that day as well. What are the keys to knocking off the Tigers, though? Last year's premiers and one of the formidable, one of this year's formidable opponents.
Yeah, so obviously, as you said, Richmond have been the team to beat in the past. And I think their run and their overlap run is what got them those two premierships. So I think with our ball control and our sort of method we've been using this year, I think that'll really help. And just to control the footy by foot, and then when we get a chance to speed it up, go deep and attack the scoreboard, that'll be the way to beat them, I think.
And can you see us tagging Dusty Martin? Obviously, we know how much of a superstar he is.
I don't think so. I don't think we'll tag this week. But then again, I'm not sure what the coaches are thinking. He's in form. He's playing well, but, our guys are as well. So Trav and Robbie and Rocky in the middle are playing really well, and I think we'll just go head-to-head and get them done.
And where do you think the turning point has come from this year? Obviously, last year, played some really good footy, not quite good enough to play in the finals. You played some good footy last year as well. But where do you think the turnaround's come? Has it been the coaches or the way that they've approached things this year? Obviously, COVID's been a big factor as well and playing away and these sort of things. But, yeah, what do you think's changed?
Not too much. I honestly think the COVID stuff has sort of helped in a way. We've got a really good team that has are very resilient. So I feel like we're sort of, been flexible and accepting of the year. And I think that's sort of helped where, other teams may not have been as good at that. Flying in, flying out, playing the same day as a flight. I think we've just been flexible, accepted that, taken it on, and just sort of played our really good brand of footy. And it's just sort of all clicking together. Charlie's kicking lots of goals and Boki's back in the midfield. So I think it's, really helped us.
And yourself personally, mate, obviously you haven't played any games this year, but you've been emergency, so you've been very close a few times. How's it been this year not being able to sort of play SANFL footy and, having to just play in these little scratch matches? Must be tough for you.
Yeah, it's been very tough. It's tough for a lot of the guys that haven't had an opportunity because, of course, when we play SANFL, they're our chances to show what we've got and what we've been working on. So to not have any games really has been sort of tough. But, when we have played against the Crows or when Sydney came to town, it was nice to get a hit out against another opponent apart from training all the time.
And in terms of your own personal situation, what do you sort of feel like you have to do to get into the side? I mean, obviously you've got some sensational backs, Bert's obviously the list goes on. Leonard's played some really good footy this year. Houston's, when he's not playing the midfields, goes back as well. Cleary, we've got a number of really good defenders. What do you think you need to do to sort of get back in the side, Jolie, either in the finals this year or going forward to next year?
Yeah, so obviously I think my fitness is something I can keep working on, and my ability to play on smaller players. So in the SANFL, I can play on the bigger guys and tend to go okay. So it's just playing on the smaller guys a little bit quicker, a little bit more nippy. But I think if I just continue to trust the process and keep seeking feedback from the coaches and being tough in the way I play the game, that'll go a long way, hopefully.
You've got age on your side anyway, so I'm sure we'll see you next year.
Hopefully.
Back at halfback, showing you great stuff there. Now, I've got some good dirt on you this week, Jolie, to talk to you about as well.
Here we go.
Let's start with that massive mullet that you had going there. The hairdresser apparently, your hairdresser wasn't too, didn't really want to be a part of that mullet. Where did this come about?
Well, I'm not sure. I sort of was just growing it out, and then I thought, you know what, I like it. I'm just going to keep it. And the more people told me they didn't like it, I wanted to keep it even more. So that was sort of just to annoy people in my family and that sort of thing. Then it got to a stage where it was really quite knotty and got a little bit gross, and my girlfriend told me to cut it off. So
I was about to ask what the missus thought of it. So, yeah, she wasn't a fan.
But it's sort of coming along again. It's sort of getting there a little bit. Who knows? Could grow it back.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with mullets, mate. I used to have a roofer back in the day when I had hair. So you obviously remember the great Scotty Hodges at the Magpies. He was a superstar and he was my idol, and he had a cracking mullet. So I used to have the number 11.
Copy him.
Yeah, try to copy him with the number 11 Guernsey on my back as a young fella. So, yep, used to have one myself back in the day.
How long do you reckon you got it? Down the shoulder length?
I reckon so, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to try and send you a photo.
You get a few photos. Beautiful.
Oh, mate, those are the days when I had hair. But hey, also, something that we've both got in common, which I loved hearing about this. I can't stand Vegemite, Jolie, and there's so many people out there that just love it. They say it's an Australian icon, but you, like me, you're a Promite man. Tell us more about this.
Are you a Promite man?
I am a lover of Promite. Promites, I can't stand Vegemite.
Well, there's not many of us that love Promite. Another player, Willem Drew loves Promite as well. He can't have Vegemite either. So there's a couple of us now. I can't do it. And yeah, the boys in my house spray me all the time for it. Oh, you're not Australian, you don't like Vegemite. Well,
go us, I reckon.
Yeah, Promite's beautiful. I love it.
And you share a house with Hazy and Faz as well. What's that like, and who does the cooking, Jolie?
It's really good. Taylor, Kane's girlfriend, also lives with us as well. So it's good. It's nice to come home to other people, obviously, and we get up to a bit of mischief and that sort of thing. But cooking would mainly be probably myself and Kane. We do get Hazy in the kitchen. He does a nice chicken schnitzel, but me and Kane can be a little bit controlling, I guess, and like to cook our certain meals a certain way. So yeah.
So Hazy's not very much to the table other than his footy talents.
He's just happy to sit on the couch and just eat what we cook. He doesn't mind. He's very easygoing, Hazy.
Oh, that's great. And obviously you've had a great friendship with him for a number of years. You both played footy together at juniors and now together at Port. What does that mean for you to have one of your best mates playing at the club and living with him as well? Oh,
it's awesome. It's been such a long journey. Like, we played footy since we were 11 years old, and to come the whole way through with one person and get to the top with that same person is really, really good. And yeah, as you're saying, it's like having a brother living with him. To know him for that long, he knows me better than anybody else, and I probably get on his nerves a little bit too much. But it's awesome to have Hazy around the club.
And has he been close to getting a game this year in the seniors as well? Because obviously, when Ladsy was out with that suspension and, we've had Lysa injured as well, has he been close to pushing for selection as well?
I think so, definitely, yeah. He was emergency a couple games, I think, in a row there. And I think he's come a long way this year. That's the thing, back to the whole not playing SANFL footy this year. I think if he had a chance to play consistent footy against other ruckmen, showing what he's been working on, that would have helped him a lot, to get an AFL berth this year. But hopefully next year he comes back in good nick after pre-season and he can get his way in there.
That's right, yeah. Hopefully the SANFL boys will be back to normal again next year, like you said, so you can, get those full opportunities. And Jolie, back in the day, a lot of people don't know this about you, but you're a very smart boy. You were the first ever Indigenous prefect at the Scotch College and are known as being a natural leader as well. This must have been pretty special to sort of get that recognition.
Yeah, very special. I don't think I was smart. I don't think I'd say that. But it was it was a pretty prestigious honour to get, and it was a bit of a shock as well when they said I was the prefect. But yeah, definitely, it was a good memory from school. Definitely.
And your younger brother was known as being a better football player than yourself. I don't know about that, but you must be a bit dark about that.
Yeah, he'd probably say he taught me everything or something. And even though he's 2 years younger than me, he's probably a foot taller than me and beats me up every time I go home. But it was nice playing footy with him. And when he came to Scotch in year 10, we used to play full-back, centre-half-back together. So that was pretty good fun as well.
And some good backyard basketball and cricket games, no doubt, when you were both younger?
Yeah, lots of cricket and lots of basketball, yeah. But we used to fight a fair bit because it was just me and him. So, if I got him out and he didn't like it, it was an argument, and then he'd walk off and he'd go, "Oh, you can keep batting," and I'd get him out again, and no, I'm not playing anymore. So it was a bit of backyard punch-ups, but
that's what you do with brothers. My brother was exactly the same. Whenever I started beating him, he'd always just start sooking. I remember playing tennis against him a couple of years ago, and he was just so dark on me. He wouldn't talk to me that night, and it was just kept on making all his excuses and saying that I was hitting the ball too soft. I'm like, well, I beat you. It doesn't matter how you beat someone. It's the scoreline, isn't it?
Is he younger?
He's younger, yeah.
It's a younger brother thing. They can't do it.
Now, Joel, I hear you're a bit of a star at FIFA, but you like to rub it in with the kids a little bit when you beat them, though. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, well, I guess I go around to my hairdresser's house for dinner every now and then, and they've got 2 young boys, and they love their FIFA, love their soccer, and they get me to play on PlayStation. And I guess sometimes I can get a little bit competitive, and 10-0, 10-1, I might beat them. And you got to learn. You can't just get things handed to you, and it's not going to be easy. So maybe I'm a little bit too harsh. I need to ease up a little bit.
Tough love. That's the word I was looking for. So,
yeah. Well, you can't just you got to learn. You got to get better, and that's how you get better, I guess.
And who are some of the funnier teammates down at Alberton, and why, Jolie?
Well, I think I've said before, Hazy is probably the funniest teammate. He's a ripper, and just some other ones. Willem Drew and Tom Rockcliffe's a bit of a joker around the club as well, as I think lots of people know.
I've heard that he's a bit of a pest. What's sort of some of the stuff he's been doing, since your time there?
He's parked some cars on the oval. So after training, we would walk out to go home, and Zach Butler's car's in the middle of Alberton. Hides keys from people, hides in the car park, and when you're walking past, can scare you, give you a bit of a fright. So he gets up to a little bit.
And outside of footy, we've spoken before, you love your hunting, mate, and a bit of surfing as well. Have you been able to do any of that sort of stuff this year, or?
This year's been a bit harder. I've been playing a lot of golf rather than going surfing. But yeah, I love going shooting, that sort of thing. And this year's sort of been hard to get out and do that, and especially being away from home as well. But hopefully, when we get to go home over Christmas, I'll get to do a little bit with my brother and dad, and yeah, be good.
Yeah, it must have been really hard. You sort of forget about these sort of guys like yourself and Hazy, Faz, guys that are from Victoria and have family back home. It must make it really difficult. I guess there's been a lot of Zoom chats and that sort of thing this year.
Yeah, lots of FaceTiming, and calling mum and dad quite a bit. It's just been tough. It's tough for everyone in any situation. Tough for the teams in the hubs, and tough from boys being from Victoria, and even the boys from WA, with obviously all their restrictions as well. For guys like Jake Bassini, and even Sampo Pepper, it would be hard for them as well to go home. Yeah,
well said. Well, Jolie, I'll let you go and relax, mate. Thanks so much for joining us today on Legends with Bevo. What a pleasure, as always, it is to chat with you, and thanks for sharing some great insight into the boys at the footy club.
Thanks, mate. Hopefully see you soon, and can't wait to do it again.